My name is Ortmann, so I work for the Fondation pour l'Enseignement, which is based in Brussels, in Belgium. So our reach is the French-speaking community in Belgium. We work in the education system. So the Fondation pour l'Enseignement, or Foundation for Education, if you translate it literally, was created 10 years ago by, on the one side, the representatives of the organizing bodies of the education system in the French-speaking community of Belgium, and on the other side, representatives of the private sector, so companies, company federations. And they created the Fondation pour l'Enseignement because they made common observations related to the fact, for example, that there are not enough young people that choose STEM jobs, STEM pathways, so science, technology, engineering and mathematics jobs. Also related to the fact that they notice that young people, when they get out of school, often they don't have the necessary skills, or at least not the skills that are expected on the labor market. So there's a mismatch between what they learn at school and what is expected, especially in vocational education, vocational secondary education. So based on this, the Fondation pour l'Enseignement decided to work on three priorities. The first one is orientation positive, so it's positive orientation or guidance. So it's the fact that we want to help young people to choose their jobs and their career path based on their knowledge of themselves, their strength. We've heard that already, but really what can I do, what do I want to do, and so on, because you will have to work your whole life, so it's very important to choose your job well. The second priority is education au métier, so here the aim is really to improve the quality of the education, especially in vocational secondary education, and we do that through collaborations between schools and companies. So we still have in our board, we still have the representatives of the school system and the representatives of the companies. So we really work closely with schools and companies always. And the third priority is what we call mobilité professionnelle. So here the aim is to promote reconversions from the private sector to the education system. So for people who have worked for 10, 20, 30 years in the private sector and who might want to end their career, for example, as a teacher, we try to help them make this transition, and we try to make some kind of lobby to facilitate also this. So very quickly, how do we usually work? So we are a foundation, but we're not a financing foundation. We are a foundation who implements projects. So we usually launch pilot projects, so on a very small scale, and then we try to scale these projects if they work, of course. And our end game is always that what works on the ground is taken over by the education system with the actors that gravitate around the education system, companies, but also other non-profit organizations or public tools provided by public authorities, for example. So what is Stimul? Stimul is a project that aims at deconstructing stereotypes about STEM jobs, especially gender stereotypes, because as you know, usually, when you go into a class and you ask the students, what do you think about the construction sector or the chemical industry, they usually picture a man, strong man, or a very smart man, and they think that women cannot do it. So we try to really deconstruct this. We do it with the students, but we also do it with the teachers. So we always have a program for students and a program for teachers. We are financed for this project via subsidies that come from the Walloon relaunch plan. So it's from the relaunch, the European relaunch, and then the Walloon relaunch. So what does the program look like, the yearly program? So first, on the top for the students, the first activity is the StarTex Days. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's organized by an association that's called World Skills. It's a competition. It starts in each country, so here in Belgium, and afterwards young people compete, I think, on an international level. Then the second step is that they have 4 activities within their class, and each activity is implemented by one industry. So for example, the chemical and life sciences industry, they go into the class and they have a 4-hour activity, and it's kind of a role play where the young people have to find a vaccine, for example, against the disease. So it's always very gamified, of course. And the last step in this program is what we call the Forum STEAM. It's an event that we implement in each school where every sector, every industry is again in the school with people that work in the companies, and the aim is again that the students can meet the people from the different industries, ask questions about how can I get to that kind of job and so on. So maybe what we've learned through this project first is that we need to start early with deconstructing stereotypes. We maybe have a different position than you have, because like the projects that I've heard until now, because you support more the women and people in general to go to employment. Here we really start early, and actually we notice that we need to start even earlier. Because stereotypes at this age, 11, 12, 13 years old, they already have them, and it's more difficult to tell them, well, no, it's not only for men, it's also for women. We also need to reach parents, because even if it's easy sometimes to change ideas within in the heads of young people, it's more difficult when they get home after and they tell what they've learned to their parents. Parents say, no, you don't go to a construction site, it's for men, you don't do this as a woman, and so on. And then immediately everything we've talked about in class, well, it's gone. So it's also important to reach parents. So what we think is we need to train even more the teachers. So train the trainer, I guess you've heard of the concept. It's really important because in the end they are in touch with the young people all the time. And if we want to scale it, it's important to train them. Here it's 4 schools. In the French-speaking community of Belgium we have around 2,500 secondary schools. So I don't think we will be able to scale it in this version, but we can scale it and have a long-lasting impact if we train the teachers. Well, that's it, I think.